Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Today, I'm here to talk about ridiculous reasons that animals have been rehomed. And I know I've talked about this before, but I stumbled across some articles about people who work at shelters and real reasons that people have dropped off their pets. So I just wanted to read some of them to you. And then explain how to prevent this. Morning, Monica. He kept sitting in front of the TV when the football was on. He got into the fridge and ate the pie. He chewed my model helicopter. He's too perfect. All he does is sleep. He doesn't bark. He keeps pulling the washing off the line. He looks different after we walked him in the rain. He won't fit in my handbag or wear the clothes I bought him. He keeps distracting the children from revising for their GED. He kept pulling the nose off the children's toys. He's scared of tinfoil. He doesn't pay attention to the baby. He kept eating our apples and pooped on our very expensive rug. A cat was surrendered because it was freeloading and sleeping all day. A family had 4 dogs and didn't want to care for them all, so they got rid of Maxie because she was the oldest. Cat returned because its black hair was sticking on a white couch. Cat returned on its first day in a new home because it hid under the bed. The fish outgrew its tank. I didn't know how much work it was. The guinea pig pees too much. Got rid of the older dog because the new dog they got doesn't get along with the older dog. Doesn't match the furniture. My wife and I are retiring and the cat doesn't fit into our lifestyle. My new girlfriend doesn't like the dog. It was afraid to get in the car. The family was replacing an old carpet with new flooring and they didn't want the old dog to pee on it. The owner redecorates and surrenders the dog because it didn't match the new look. She was sure the dog would find a new home because she was purebred. Surrendered the dog because he stole a turkey off the counter. Redid the backyard and didn't want the dog to ruin the grass. This dog keeps wanting to be close to me. I can't stand it following me all the time. My dog follows my son and not my daughter around the house, and I want the dog to love my daughter. I'm going on a holiday and don't want to pay for boarding. My dog doesn't like to walk in the rain, etc., etc., etc. There's 2 more pages, but I'm not going to read them all. So, what I want to talk about first is, first of all, if you're not ready to put in the effort, just don't. Right, Monica? She says, wow, just wow, there are no words. If I kept reading them, it would just get more sad. But the most important thing you can do when deciding to get a pet is, first of all, to do research, because you want a breed that suits your lifestyle. First of all, it has to be the right size, meaning you have to find out if where you live allows animals of that size. And this includes the size that the animal is going to grow to, not just the size that it starts when you get it. This includes grooming needs. I'd say there is one here that said, when I take it to get him groomed, it's too expensive because he has so much hair. So they rehomed the dog. Said, you picked the breed knowing that he had this much hair. Why would you complain about the grooming? Learn how to do it yourself. It costs you $0. Why not do that instead? And exercise. I've worked with a lot of people who complain that their dogs are destroying things, or they're bored, or they're not playful or friendly, but they never get exercise outside. So all that pent up energy is just sitting there waiting for something to come along that they can release it on. So those are the basics. The second big thing is to make sure you can afford it. This includes food. This includes vet bills. This includes toys and grooming and treats and walking equipment and litter if you have a cat. All of the things. When I was trying, this was a couple years ago, When I was trying to convince my mom to let me get Kaya, I put together a list of every single thing that we had to get before we got Kaya, what it was going to cost, and how I was going to pay for it. Because I went to her with the list. I said, this is how much it's going to cost. I'm going to pay for everything. All you have to do is let her be here. But it showed her that I was taking it very seriously, because pets can be really expensive. When you think about how much you pay per year for them, with food and supplements if they take them, and if they go on, you have a dog walker, or they have vet bills, or if they're boarded, if they're a horse, if you go on holidays, there's kennel fees and things like that. But all these things need to be considered, because it just breaks my heart when people think committing to a pet means for 5 years and then I'll return them when I don't want them anymore. You're inviting this animal into your family. In the same way you wouldn't adopt a child and keep them for 5 years and then say, I don't like your attitude anymore, I'm getting rid of you. The pets are the same way. Please don't return them. One of the biggest things you can do to make the process easier is to train them. Watch YouTube videos and learn how to train your dog or cat to do or not do the thing you don't want them to do. Positive reinforcement is the easiest way to do this. Some trainers use negative reinforcement. Monica says, they are family, they give the best love. Honestly, after my car accident, it was almost 2 years ago now, I don't know what I would have done if Kaya wasn't there, because for about a month or two, I had a cast on this hand and I couldn't do anything for myself because I'm right hand dominant. So I couldn't, have a shower and wash my hair because my hand was stuck like this. And I couldn't cook and make food. And Kaya was always there every day when I couldn't get up and do anything. Luckily, I could still take her for a walk. I just had to not wear shoes with laces because I couldn't tie them. But she was there with me every single day, helping me recover, and having her there meant the world to me. So, something to consider. If you are convinced that you will never learn how to train your dog, they have puppy classes, they have socialization classes, they have specialty classes like scenting, agility, dock diving, all of that stuff. You just have to try to find them. It's really not that hard. There's usually a lot in the area, a lot of Facebook groups. You can find classes through there. They even have private or send away camps, meaning that you send your dog there for 3 to 6 weeks. They get trained and then they come back. So you can literally now send your dog away to get trained. And a lot of dogs from shelters that have come from another home already have some of the basic training. So when you're thinking about getting a pet rather than getting a puppy that maybe you don't know how to train or socialize, go and adopt a dog that's already 1 year to 2 years, because then they'll come with a lot of those behaviors already there. And you won't have to do the hardest part of potty training them and making sure that they're not scared of everything, because most of that will already be done for you. But socialization is really, really important. I have an ebook. It's called So You Want a Dog. Before you get a dog, if you're on the fence or you're trying to convince someone, get the book, read it, and then you'll have more solid arguments, because essentially this is what helped me get Kaya. And it's so comprehensive. It has all the things that you'll need to consider when you're getting a pet, which many of them I've covered in this video. It'll cover developmental stages and what's the most important thing you need to focus on while your animal progresses through each stage. This book is only about dogs. However, I've been told it's very comprehensive for what it is. It's not that long, but it took a lot of research to put it together. So if you're interested in that, it's in the shop on my website. But please don't be another story in these articles. Take it seriously, because it makes me very angry, but it also makes me very sad. Because if I had the time and the money and the space, I would adopt all of the dogs. I would work with each one individually and I would play with them. Monica says, thank you for bringing awareness to this issue. It's so needed. Thank you. I think a lot of people underestimate and they say, no, it doesn't really happen. I say, yes, it does. All the time. All the time. And a lot of examples where someone gets a new baby and they decide that rather than training the dog before they get the baby, they wait till the baby comes, then say, oh no, the dog doesn't get along with the baby. Let's get rid of the dog. Instead of preparing the dog for the baby. So thinking ahead, having a little bit of foresight will help a lot. Before I make this video too long, that's all I'm going to talk about for today. The upcoming videos will be a little less regular and a little bit shorter because I'm changing up my content a little bit. So there'll be more interactive type posts and videos and things like that. But I hope that you guys like what's coming. I've worked pretty hard on it. Have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you next Tuesday.